It's a strange thing about humans. They spend years running from the hands that raised them, then spend the rest of their lives wishing for one more touch. My name is Maple. I am a small brown rabbit, soft ears, quick feet, bright eyes that miss very little. I live beneath a weathered wooden shed, behind a quiet farmhouse outside Lexington, Kentucky, where morning fog hangs low over the grass, porch lights glow amber in winter, and old wind chimes sing to no one but memory. Humans think small creatures scare easily. We do, but what saddens us more than thunder, more than barking dogs, more than sharp winter winds, is watching love arrive too late. That is how I came to know Ethan Cole and his parents, Walter and June. Walter was once the kind of man whose hands looked carved from oak. Large hands, cracked knuckles, grease under his nails from fixing tractors, old pickup trucks, anything broken. June smelled like lavender soap, cinnamon toast, and clean sheets warmed by sunlight. She hummed while cooking, always humming, soft songs with no words. Their little white farmhouse carried the smell of coffee, old books, apple pie, and years of quiet devotion. And for a long time that home waited for footsteps that stopped coming. Ethan was their only son. Bright, handsome, sharp-minded, restless, the kind of boy small towns often lose. He left for Chicago at 23 with a polished suitcase, big ambition, and the look many young Americans wear. When home begins to feel too small for their dreams, I'll come visit soon, he said. Humans say soon the way autumn leaves promise spring. Beautiful and often unreliable. At first he called every Sunday, then every other week, then birthdays, then holidays, then only quick texts. Busy week, love you guys. Talk soon, soon again, always soon. Walter would still mow an extra strip of grass along the driveway, keeping it neat, just in case Ethan came home unexpectedly. June would set one extra plate on Thanksgiving out of habit, then quietly put it back in the cupboard. She always smiled when doing it, the kind of smile stitched carefully over disappointment. I watched from beneath hydrangea bushes. Small hearts notice quiet sadness. Years passed, the porch paint peeled. Walter's shoulders bent lower. June moved slower through the kitchen. Her humming grew softer, then stopped altogether. One October afternoon, leaves burning orange in the Kentucky hills. A black car pulled into the driveway, a rental car. City plates, expensive shoes stepped onto old porch wood. Ethan had come home, not for Christmas, not for Thanksgiving, not because he missed them, because a hospital called. June had suffered a stroke. He walked into the house carrying flowers that smelled too bright for a room full of fear. He looked older, fine coat, luxury watch, phone buzzing constantly in his pocket, but his eyes carried panic and guilt. Heavy guilt has a smell, sharp, metallic, restless like rain hitting hot pavement. June lay small in a hospital bed, moved into the living room, sunlight resting gently on her blanket. Half her smile was gone now. Words came slowly, but when she saw Ethan, her eyes lit up exactly the same way they had when he was 10 years old, running barefoot through sprinklers. That is what parents do. They keep loving the child they remember, even when the grown one stays away. Walter stood by the window, quiet, hands in pockets. Older than grief should make a man look. That night Ethan sat alone on the porch steps, head in hands, crying the quiet cry of someone meeting his own regret face to face. Not dramatic, not loud, just broken. I came close enough to hear him whisper into cold night air, "I thought there'd be more time." There it was, the saddest sentence humans speak. Not "I didn't care," not "I forgot," but "I thought there'd be more time." Humans live like love can be postponed, like visits can wait, like calls can wait, like hugs can wait, like old hands will stay warm forever. But life is quieter than that. One day the chair on the porch sits empty. One day the phone never rings again. One day the voice that always said, "Drive safe," becomes memory. Ethan stayed. For the first time in years he stayed. He cooked breakfast badly, burned toast, made weak coffee, helped Walter fix a broken fence post, sat beside June, and read aloud from old photo albums. He laughed through tears at stories he had forgotten and held her hand, like he was trying to hold on to time itself. But love delayed always carries sorrow. 3 weeks later, June was gone, softly like candlelight folding into morning. At the funeral, Ethan did not speak much. He stood by the maple tree near the churchyard, long after everyone left, Walter beside him. 2 grown men, silent, grief standing shoulder to shoulder. Then Walter said something small that broke the whole sky open. "She waited for you every day, not angry, not cruel, just true. Truth can hurt gently and still leave scars forever." Years have passed. Walter is gone now too. The farmhouse was sold. New people live there. New laughter fills old rooms. But sometimes on autumn evenings, a silver pickup parks quietly by the roadside. A middle-aged man steps out, stands looking at the porch, stands there a long time, hands in pockets, eyes wet. That is Ethan, still visiting a home that no longer holds the people he meant to love better. That is grief. Love with nowhere left to go. And this small rabbit, hidden in tall grass, has learned something watching human hearts. You do not always get the beautiful moment of making things right. Sometimes life closes the door, while love is still gathering courage to knock. Call while they can answer. Visit while they can open the door. Love them while they can still feel your hand in theirs.